All right, everybody, welcome back. My name is Pale Ale Poppy. This is episode 42 of Top Tier Podcast, man. We got a lot of shit for y'all today, man.
Yeah, first of all, I just wanted to draw attention to the fact that this is Black History Month. This is our first episode during Black History Month.
Which is dope, man. I mean, that's why last week I really wanted to talk about, when we got into talking about Malcolm X and how he was whitewashed in American schools. I like that because it really coincided with the first. I mean, or was it on the first? Did we hit that? It was not on the first.
We didn't record during, this is the first time.
This is the first time, but I wanted to do it because we were leading up to Black History Month, but this is our first time doing it, during Black History Month.
Black creators during Black History Month. I'm a little, I don't know, I kind of want to go out on a limb right here, talking about Black History Month. Should we keep Black History Month a thing? I've heard a lot of people.
Well, Black history is American history. I don't know why we stratified and separated. Black history is American history. You know what I mean? Like, it's fundamental to American history.
I've just heard a lot of people talk about the way that, and I kind of agree with it, the way that Black history, when we talk about Black History Month, when we teach Black history in this country, it's about the trauma. It's not about the things that we do that are, positive. It's always about the things that were done to us. We always focus on the oppression, always focus on the trauma and the pain.
Well, I think it seemed that way when I was coming up in school. In family, we also focus on the positives. We also focus on the black, the black inventors and our contributions.
Black people
to history.
Yeah. When we teach ourselves,
I don't really. The trauma is talked about, but I think a lot of our positive contributions are also heavily focused on. At least what I've seen in my life.
In the school system, you think?
Not necessarily 100%. I can't really think of a time. Maybe not in the schools. I don't know why I just remember being a kid around other young black kids learning about Black history, but I don't know if it was like, I probably went to like African American Museum, or I think we did go on school trips to the African American Museum. We went there one time when I was in elementary school. I was raised in a very pro-black environment amongst like friends and family. We used to go to like events and stuff and like festivals and stuff like that, like in Lamert Park stuff. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, but I just remember being a kid learning a lot about positive contributions and positive Black history and Black Wall Street and stuff like that I don't really remember exactly where, but definitely probably not in public schools for sure.
For me, and I'm sure for a lot of other kids, it was just Martin Luther King Jr. That's pretty much it. Rosa Parks, Civil Rights Movement.
Yeah, we didn't learn about Malcolm X in schools. Definitely MLK. He got like 2 pages in the American history book.
I've heard a lot of
X
people
probably got a line.
Like 19 Keys, Kanye West, and we know Kanye has his problems, but when they speak about it, they speak from the point of view where it's like we should have instead of a Black History Month, we should have a Black Future Month.
I see what you're saying, where the focus should be on Afrofuturism and like progress and all the jargon. You know what I mean by the jargon?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just wanted to raise that to mind.
I think there's nothing wrong with Black History Month because there would be and people are going to be mad and crying about it, but it's the truth. All the wealth that was built off of our oppression and slavery is why there's America today. Washington Monument was designed by a black man. You can look this up. You can refute it all you want, but that's what I'm saying. We have very real contributions that are foundational to this country, and you can't separate it from American history. And I think from what we suffered, at the very least, we can get a month to honor that. There will be no. But
what are the contributions that Black History Month gives back to Black people? It's really just a bunch of white people and white companies running around, kind of commoditizing. What's the word? You know what I'm talking about?
Commoditizing.
Juneteenth,
the
quote
whole
unquote
Juneteenth
holiday
ice cream scandal.
Yeah, or this fucking cop car in Miami, where they put they put Africa, they put the continent of Africa on it. It's Black History Month, is like American Black History Month.
This is trolling. To me, that's trolling.
That's what I'm talking about. It leaves too much room for that.
That's symbolism and trolling. But I think my thing about it is we don't need to really focus on what other people are doing. Like, if you understand that symbolism and trolling, that's just like bullshit symbolism and trolling. Like, what is a cop car going to do that's fundamentally going to change police departments in this country? What's the
purpose of it?
That's
what I'm saying. What's the purpose of Black History Month? If you're not going to raise awareness and educate on the real, I don't want to say real, but on a full grasp of Black history, and you're going to focus on certain things that just show you like, oh yeah, you were always oppressed and you still are oppressed, then what's the point of it? And then you have on the other side just a bunch of trolling, if you want to use that word. Right. What's the point of it? It almost seems like it does more bad than good.
Well, I look at it like this, right? Not everybody celebrates Christmas. Not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving. I know this is just, government. This is America saying, mandate, not mandating, but this everybody collectively agreeing upon that February is Black History Month.
It's like a holiday.
It's like a holiday. It's like a holiday of sorts.
And it feels like that too. It doesn't feel like it has any tangible
we
nature
don't have
to it.
We don't, every month can be Black History Month for us. So we don't really need Black History Month. I'm not saying that we don't need it per se. But since it's here, you should always be teaching if you celebrate it, you should always be teaching your children that. But it could just be a month where it's like, hey guys, we're going to go a little harder than normal. We're going to dig a little deeper than normal. And if you celebrate that, that's fine. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
But I don't really think there's a deeper discussion necessarily on like, we don't need it because all it leads is other people trolling and it doesn't, like in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But like what holiday really matters other than the certain people who really believe in it?
I'm just tired of seeing these fucking Popeye commercials. They ramp up them Popeyes commercials during Black History Month, man. I'm tired of watching this shit.
Which is really disrespectful because it's just like, these niggas love chicken.
We know y'all love some chicken. Maybe I should put that over, maybe you should play that. I wish I had that. I saw this recent commercial. It started with, it's a black guy behind there. I hope it's a black guy because he sounds black. That'd be terrible if they exposed that it was a white dude playing on these in these Popeyes commercials.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy comes up, we know y'all love some fried chicken. What black person have you ever heard sound like that? You ever heard one?
Ones on TV who there's like, you need to
tap dancing ass.
Tap into the black.
I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. Tap into the black. Just sound a little blacker. Like the director's coming
to be telling him that.
Like, Jamal, just
right?
Elevate the blackness just a little bit. Like, what it is. That southern twang, you know what I mean? Like, just do the black thing. And they just have some dude just like, y'all know y'all want some fried chicken now.
Telling you.
You know what I'm saying?
I saw them dancing. They were dancing in one of the commercials. One could say metaphorically tap dancing while making fried chicken.
I don't know how they're getting away with this shit, man. But it's been going on for a while.
They can't keep getting away with this.
I don't know how because I've seen commercials. And it's sad that it's so normal to me now that I don't even think about it. It's just like, oh, Popeye's commercial, but I'm not even.
During Black History Month, I normally don't notice it, but during Black History Month, I notice it. Sprite too. I'm not letting Sprite off the hook either.
But I don't know, man. I saw a post on Twitter where a lady was like, you notice how in the last like 6 months, black people in commercials have like dropped off a cliff because it's like times are getting harder, so the Negroes get cut first.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe Popeyes is just like, well, we know Negroes like chicken, so they'll always be central to our image. But everybody else is just like, we're gonna cut the Negroes. I don't know. Maybe it's just a chicken thing. Maybe they have done research in their market and it was like, well, if we show blacks liking chicken, everybody buy chicken because we know blacks like chicken, so it must be good. You know what I'm trying to say? Like some racist shit. Like
trying to tell you.
So it'll always be a black guy in a
y'all.
Popeyes commercial.
Stay woke,
they'll
y'all.
think it's well, the blacks have the absolute authority on fried chicken. So if we just show blacks in chicken commercials saying our chicken is good, sales go up.
Make that nigga dance too.
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie though. I don't understand how we've got the image of fried chicken. Like fried chicken is fucking gas. I don't understand how you're gonna make fun of somebody for liking fried chicken. Everybody eats fried chicken. Like,
you mean the stereotype?
The stereotype. I never understood it. Watermelon, I understand where that one comes from. Because that was like a very racist.
Maybe they should teach that shit in Black History Month. That's what I'm saying. Remove Colonel Sanders from it all and teach about where fried chicken came from. I'm just playing.
Like with watermelon. Like watermelon, the reason why there's like such a stereotype about us and watermelon is because after slavery, you had a lot of black people who were growing watermelon and selling them, and they were very successful.
Yeah.
So the racists are like, those niggers and their watermelons, they must be obsessed with it. It's become just this asinine troll joke because black people were surviving. You weren't supposed to survive off selling watermelon. Some of us were getting successful at selling watermelon. So it's like, blacks and watermelon. But chicken, I don't get. Even watermelon, I get it, but maybe chicken has a similar history, but we don't have to linger on this too long. Yeah. I just think it's interesting. Chicken is so heat, bro. Like, especially like
at the very least, Popeyes should be giving us some free fried chicken during Black History Month at the very least. So I'm telling
Walk
you,
up
man,
and you don't pass the paper bag test.
we don't get no benefits. You got at least Black 3C. Month.
You get a free bucket.
Come on now, y'all better listen to him. All right, let's keep it moving. Arian Foster, ex-NFL player. You hear what he had to say?
What did he say?
Arian Foster was trending on Twitter because he was on a podcast, and he was exposing. I love that word. Exposing the NFL for providing teams with scripts that they have to follow for every game that will basically show how the season is going to unfold. And he said that during practice, all they do is they practice the script. He was clearly joking, but I think that some people ran with it.
Well, I don't know, man. It's putting a tinfoil hat on, you know. Just assume I have that a tinfoil kufi on, right? I don't know, man. You would think, like, imagine a whole bunch of owners, whole bunch of rich people in these private gambling. Let's say have like a private underground gambling society. You don't think they rigging games? You don't think they say, "Hey, Tom,
they're rigging games.
Tom, throw this one, bro. We'll give you 10, 15 mil under the table, bro.
He's gonna be wide open right in the corner.
Because we're gonna bet that you're gonna lose by a certain amount.
They're definitely rigging the games, and there's already proof. There's cases where referees, for example, have been caught betting on the games and calling the games. So that part is true. The script, no, the script is not true. The script is bullshit.
There's a documentary, and this is like a little different. It's not necessarily the players in on it, but there's a documentary on Netflix where about a basketball coach. This is during like the early 2000s era, where he was like rigging games for years. He finally got caught, and they stripped him of all his accolades and his
all that shit is true for sure.
Like, they were making millions, dude. They were making money hand over fist.
I bet.
Think they're not? That's such a big business. You don't think dudes haven't approached like the LeBrons and the Kobes and even just cross sports in general? They haven't approached these top players like, "Hey man, throw this game, we'll give you 50 mil."
Essentially a script.
Finals. Like, we'll give you 50 mil.
Essentially writing a last like 2 minute, 5 minute long script. Essentially, and I believe it. I don't believe in the whole like, oh yeah, like during the beginning of the season, we give these guys scripts and they run it in practice. I don't believe in that. No, that just sounds asinine. But the ignorant people, the fact that people will believe that says all you need to know about American sports. That says all you need to know. The fact that we could just, oh yeah, Arian, because I thought about it for a little bit. I actually thought about it. Because especially in the NFL, they just rig games. Like it's clear. This pass interference thing where they could just throw, hypothetically, they could throw a 99-yard pass interference penalty and move the ball 99 yards.
Gate. Or like deflate gate.
There's caught cheating.
I don't know if that counts, but like, remember,
it's more like a team thing.
I don't know shit about football and basketball.
It's more like a team thing.
But I mean, and you don't think players are secretly betting under the table?
No, they do.
I would. Wouldn't you bet on yourself?
There was a guy a couple seasons.
Get away with it?
I think a guy missed last season. I forget his name. Plays for the Falcons. Pretty sure he missed the entirety of last season because he was caught betting on his own games. I think we talked about that.
Yeah. But I'm like, this stuff, it's whether you get caught or you don't get caught. I really believe these owners get together and bet on games and rig shit. Because the thing is, like, if you all these, a cabal, let's say a cabal, I got the tinfoil hat on, a cabal of like all the NFL owners, they could just plan out a season. They can't like plan all of it out, but they could definitely look at the playoffs and say, hey man, these are the ones who are going to win. And we're just going to rig it. We're going to just have like certain operatives on different teams who are just like sworn to secrecy, who will sabotage the game.
And you know what else we know? Is that coaches, like you were saying, coaches will sabotage players to thus paint a certain narrative of how the team looks or how the season of the team is going. There's been players that have come out, like Gilbert, I don't know why I can't say his name, Gilbert Arenas, who has said in the past that his coach would come to him, all right, Gilbert, how much you think you're going to average this season? He'll be like, 25, 27. Let's bring that number down to 22. You're going to average 22. You're going to up your assists, that type of shit. Mm-hmm. And they're not able to do what they're fully capable of doing because of a quote-unquote script or a quote-unquote rigging of the games, rigging of the season. It's a real thing, 100%. Tony Romo almost said the N-word last week.
Oh my God! When you showed me that clip, bro, like I just wonder, like either way, he's getting condemned, and I agree with it. But like, I just wonder, was it one of those like he thinks he's down with the dudes, so he was like he dodged 3 niggas, or was it some intention, like Klan shit? Was he really about to drop the ER? Because he was gonna say it. Reminds me of the Nakers situation. The Nakers, like this one, I think was not as bad.
What was
as
that?
The
I didn't hear about that.
Remember the lady? She was talking about Kobe, and he was like, she said he's part of the L.A. Nakers. Or
no,
people thought she said the N-word, and she was like, no, I said Nakers.
I didn't hear about that. No,
I have to show you it later. But like everybody was like, nah, bro. She said she's gonna say L-A-N-I-G-G-E-R-E-R-S, N-I-G-G-E-R-S.
I don't think Tony Romo was about to say the N-word. I don't know what he was about to say, but I don't think that Tony Romo on live television was about to say the N-word. Even though there was some reporting that was going on from, he works for CBS, I believe, and CBS was saying that, or at least somebody outed the fact that CBS was meeting with Tony Romo, is saying that he was having, how do I say it? Like, I want to say it as diplomatically as possible, but he was having like, they wanted to make sure that his level of performance wasn't dropping. He was getting a little casual, perhaps. A little comfortable, a little too comfortable calling these games. So who knows? Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Did it sound like he was about to say it to you?
Sound like he was going to say it to me. But maybe I'm wrong, man. And the naysayers who always act like there is no racism in society, that racism just ended. We just agreed that racism was over in the 60s, and it just never happened again. Of course, these dudes are running around. You guys are always making stuff up. There is no racism. Racism ended in the 60s.
I have the audio here.
The extra yards, the tough yards, the finish on the play. Right there, you got 3. You talked about this is the best tackling team.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Wait, play it one more time, bro.
We need to play it again.
Play it one more time.
The extra yards, the tough yards, the finish on the play. Right there, you got 3. You talked about this is the best tackling team. They don't.
It was almost.
He said, "You got 3. You got 3 neat." Like he got stunned for a second.
I think he might have almost said it. I don't
know.
What else would he would have said?
The reaction was too strong. He was like, "You got 3, Nick." It's like, how do you get what other word was he saying to get that choked up? Like he was like, "Nick."
I don't know. He did get choked up. He fumbled over that. Damn, it makes you wonder, man. It really makes you wonder. What is Ernie Johnson saying in the background? You don't know who the fuck I'm talking about either.
No, not even a little bit.
All right, let's get we got some NBA news, not just NFL, that was having shit go down. Kyrie Irving. Oh, Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, just days before the trade deadline, is now asking for a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. Now, you don't watch basketball. Like you said, you don't pay attention to sports or anything like that, but we've talked about Kyrie Irving enough for you to know that Kyrie Irving brings a lot of drama. Kyrie Irving brings a lot of antics.
The last couple of months with Kyrie has just been like, feels like a Kanye story more than a Kyrie story. Yeah. Just like ridiculousness, and just like, then they was talking about Kyrie's army. Like they was like when the Hebrew Israelites pulled up in the thousands outside the stadium.
I'm waiting.
And there was like articles talking about Kyrie's army shows up outside of the Brooklyn Nets stadium.
Yeah.
They was talking about like this dude was about to incite an insurrection or something.
This story is just so Kyrie. It's just so Kyrie. The fact that everybody came to that team in order to play with Kyrie. And then listen, there's another thing about it that like I can't even blame Kyrie. Like this is a very Kyrie story, but it's like, yeah, this franchise is very, very like, I don't know. It's just not a very well-run franchise currently. So people probably just want to get away. I mean, Kevin Durant asked for a trade in the beginning of the season as well. So can you really blame Kyrie? I don't know.
See, maybe I'm missing something, but like, is the problem that it's so close to the deadline, or is they just like they mad at him for trading? It seems like a normal thing that just you see a different.
It's just Kyrie being Kyrie. You go. That's really all it is. It's just maybe it is the trade deadline aspect of it. I don't think that that's what it really is. I think it's just like, damn, like the guy can't go one season without having drama surrounding him. He already had the anti-Semitic shit go down, and now he's asking for a trade, like literally like a week before the trade deadline, a few days before the trade deadline. And you're just gonna drop, oh yeah, by the way, I want to be traded. Like, nigga, no, I'm not trading you. If I'm the Brooklyn Nets, I'm not trading him. I'm done. Like, I already fired my coach because Kevin Durant told me that. I already traded James Harden because James Harden said he wanted to get traded. I'm just not like, no, I'm not going to be taken advantage of. And that's the whole thing that like the players these days in the NBA think that they have so much, and maybe they do, but they think that they have so much, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like entitlement, maybe.
They are entitled. They're very entitled. Even the way that they're able to just skip games whenever they feel like it.
Hey, man, I mean, they're the reason these owners got money, man. They're the ones making their dream happen. You know, they're rich, but they're making chump change compared to these owners. I mean, like, the show stops if they decide not to show up to work. So I'm not saying it's okay for them to be that entitled, but there should be at least a little bit of entitlement. It's like, dude, you wouldn't have shit if we weren't out here hustling.
Yeah, the NBA players just think that they have too much leverage, I think. And like you were saying, I mean, they are the talent, and so like the show does not go on without them. That is correct. But you don't have that much leverage. It's the same thing in the WNBA where it's like they want to get paid a certain amount of money and this and that. Like they're comparing themselves to how much the NBA players make on this side and we should get paid the same amount. But like, no, you don't have enough leverage. You don't make any revenue. Therefore, you're not going to get paid. It's the same thing.
Right.
The same thing should apply with these NBA players. Like, if you don't show up, this is the only job in the world, I feel like, where if you don't show up or if you cause a bunch of drama in-house, you can just get away with it because, oh, you make $100 million. Like, no, I just don't agree with that. You could just call out of work for an entire season. You're contractually obligated to
that
play.
that one I can't get down with the call out of work for the entire season. You got to go, bro. Because like at that point, like you said, at that point, you're not bringing in revenue. You're not contributing shit. Like you're not doing your job. But like a LeBron, he has some wiggle room because how many LeBrons are you gonna find? Like, you know what I mean? Like he's a pinnacle even amongst the pinnacle.
I feel you.
I mean, you have to be in the elite to make it into the NBA. He's the elite of the elite. You're not gonna find a LeBron. Like those kind of pipe players have a lot of leeway and room. A lot of these lower level guys, y'all are dime a dozen, man. We can go to the D League and find the best to replace you, bro. Like,
not that Kyrie is low level. Though. Kyrie is a great player. It just
that's what I'm saying. So he might be harder to replace, but still, I feel like if you're not bringing in revenue, you got to go. But in this case, Kyrie's not taking off whole seasons. I'm talking about players who just like dip for a season. I don't care who you are. You're not bringing in revenue. You're not getting paid until you come back.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Beast had a video that came out last week-ish. He cured 1,000 people of blindness.
An interesting video from what I saw is that, the doctor in the video was saying that most people are a 10-minute procedure away from literally being legally blind to actually being able to see again. A 10-minute procedure. I think it's a really nice gesture. I actually think it's really cool. From my, hearing about the controversy surrounding the video, I don't know if you want to get into that, a little bit more.
What's up with it?
That basically people are just saying that he's just like, he's basically like he's basically like taking advantage of people. He's basically like giving away all these free services, but he's making ridiculous profit in the background, and that he's donating money that's given to him by other people to pay for these treatments, and he's just sitting in all this profit from the ad revenue.
Yeah, it seems to be that whole debate that people have been having recently since Bernie Sanders probably, because I wasn't hearing about it before. I don't know, maybe I wasn't that politically aware, but before 2016 I wasn't hearing anything about this whole eat the rich thing, and it seems like Mr. Beast has wiggled his way into that argument, because a lot of the hate that I've been seeing isn't necessarily about I hate the fact that he's doing good for people. No one has ever said that. No one's ever said I hate the fact that he's giving money away. No one's ever said that. I'm just seeing, excuse me, people say I hate the fact that he's making money from doing these things. That seems to be the point of the argument.
You guys think he's a generous guy. You think he's such a generous humanitarian when he's just donating money other people give him, and then he just profits off the ad revenue because he gets
what's wrong with that?
Tens.
That's
of
the question
of
that I have.
and sponsors.
The question that I have for people that have that argument, what's wrong with that? What's wrong? Because,
They
I
say he
mean,
has,
we
like,
live in a
5
capitalist
mansions.
country.
That's
What do you say?
that's my thinking. It's like, you expect the man to just give away money for free? You expect the man to
Yes,
just
they
be
do.
100% non-profit? That's what he's supposed to do. But all
It
his
seems
other
like they do.
YouTube competitors, they're making money hand over fist too. You guys don't criticize them. I don't get it either. They're trying to say that he's a scumbag for making money. I'm like, who's not trying to make money? We live in a country.
I thought you
we
had
live
your
in a
bone to
country-
pick with. I thought you had your bone to pick with Mr. Beast. I thought you said you
Well,
saw him in a certain type of light.
I don't know.
Because
Now I've like changed my stance in just a few minutes of just talking.
we started recording and he changed his stance.
Because earlier I was saying I get a weird energy from him, and don't get me wrong, I do get a weird energy from him. Some
Tell the people
doesn't
what you
seem
think.
it doesn't seem genuine, but there's the thing about it is me saying it doesn't seem genuine doesn't also mean that I don't agree with the fact that we live in a capitalist country and he's making money. It just doesn't. Most of it just doesn't seem genuine to me.
Okay.
But I don't think. But most people are criticizing him for being rich, is what I'm saying. Like, the
I
dude's
think a
got
lot of
money.
people are along that same line that you're walking.
I'm
too,
just
where it's
saying,
like,
my
I just
gut
don't feel
feeling
like it's
says that
genuine.
he's probably not the best person.
I think a lot of
Pretty
people have
wrong,
been
though.
saying that. I think a lot of people have been saying that as well.
So I personally feel like he's probably not the best person. He's not doing this with good intentions. He just sees an opportunity to get money. But most Americans.
Yeah.
So
And another thing is, like, if you guys have such a problem with Mr. Beast, why don't you just blame the market that's providing him with the funds in order to do what he's doing?
yeah,
I mean,
he's
there's
found
tens of millions of people that watches, hundreds of millions. Excuse me, hundreds of millions of people that watch
he
his
found
videos.
a lane. He found a lane. His lane was he probably just tested. I'm gonna just go around. I don't know how he started, but I'm assuming. Didn't you say you've been following him since 100 subscribers, or were you trolling?
I was completely lying about that. You believe that
Oh,
shit?
I thought it was a lie, but I was like, it would be funny though.
I didn't
wasn't
find out who
gonna be
Mr.
surprised.
Beast. I didn't find out who Mr. Beast was until literally last year, until
Okay.
that Squid Game video.
That video was kind of sick too. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't
I'm
watch
not
it.
gonna lie.
He doesn't really make
Um,
content for me.
Yeah, he makes like popcorn, like everybody can Nintendo rated E content that everybody can watch, and draws
Which is
people in by,
fine,
like,
man. The market, if
giving
the
away
market
money.
wants it, then they want it. I just don't understand why you guys are blaming the individual who makes the content that's not harming anybody. And clearly, people not only want to watch it, but people want to participate in it as well. So you guys should be blaming the people that enable him. You know what I mean? It's the same thing where I talk about, like, you know, everybody wants to eat the rich and all this capitalist, right?
Right.
Capitalism is bad. Da, da, da. It's not really the system, or it's not the people that benefit from the system. It's the system. So blame the people that are enabling the system, not the people that are taking advantage or utilizing. Maybe they're not even taking advantage; they're just utilizing the system. I think
see
we
what
have to
you're
do a
saying.
little bit of
Because he's
a
not
culture
the only
check
one,
here.
man. He's not the only one. I mean,
No, he's
getting
not.
money. There's plenty of YouTubers who they find a lane and make engaging content, and they're getting money. I mean, you can I mean, that's honestly genius. You can say what you want about Mr. Beast. Like, there's a high level of genius there in that the giving him money away concept, because it's simple, but it draws people in. You know, especially in American society. Like, money is such a focus. You scroll into YouTube, bullshit. Ooh, giving away $100,000 to somebody who makes the biggest cake. I don't watch enough Mr. Beast to know. I just know that the big focus is giving away money, or
he just gives
walking
away
around the
money.
neighborhood and giving $1,000 to homeless people. That gets people's attention. There's a genius. It's simple, but there's a geniusness to it, because people are just so, it catches your attention immediately. Like, ooh, I would like to get $1,000. Let me click. You know what I mean? Like, it is like, it seems like the most simplest way to draw people in to click on the video. Thumbnail looks kind of good. Boom.
There were more streaming news. I don't know if this guy's a YouTuber or if this guy was a Twitch streamer. I don't watch any of this type of shit, but it found its way to my timeline, and I saw people were talking about it. So let's talk about it here. There was a guy, a Twitch streamer, who was caught during one of his streams watching deepfake porn of another famous streamer. So it kind of raises this question. We already know deepfake technology is a thing. We already know it could be dangerous. It could be used in malevolent ways, this, and the third. But for this to actually have taken place on such a mass scale, it kind of just puts in perspective the fact that when this becomes a reality, there's a lot of moral questions and ethical questions that we're going to have to ask ourselves. It's going to reveal a lot. What's your stance on this?
I think
porn
it's
thing?
just the beginning, dude. I think it's gonna get really fucking bad. Because like we're just seeing like someone's face plastered on a video. But what happens when AI can like look at a person's videos, compile it, make a 3D model, and these dudes are like doing 3D porn with it. You know what I mean? Or like we go
what
a
do you
couple
think?
more decades when we understand.
Do you think it should be?
It's gonna be more than. I think it's gonna have to be. I think it should be illegal. I think it should
Just
be
period.
illegal.
Deepfake technology. Period.
It's hard to say. I think deepfake porn, deepfake with the intention. I think deepfake in general is probably going to be illegal because there's so many implications. I mean, you could take a video of like a random person killing somebody and tamper with it to make it look like someone else killed that person.
Correct.
And if there's no high level enough detection to catch that,
but you just
that person could be indicated.
You just think that it should just be the porn. It shouldn't be everything.
Because
what's the difference?
Everything.
Oh, okay.
Well, like I said, I was just talking about crime. I mean, that's one area that you can screw someone over is by making a deepfake of them committing a crime that looks real. I mean, and let's say someone actually died, and you tamper with the footage, the original footage, and made it look like someone else did it, and put it back. You know, then boom, someone else is implicated in the crime. Or porn, you know, you could make it seem like someone actually did commit a sex act and and spread the tape around and slander their name. And people don't know or are none the wiser. That's another awful thing that can happen. I think in general it needs to be banned, but I think you're not gonna be able to stop it. I think it's gonna be kind of like the internet in general. Like once it's out there, what can you really do? Or once that tech is out there, someone is always gonna have the ability to recreate whatever it is.
I think it's already available to the masses, right?
Yeah, deepfakes have been around for a minute, so. It's just going to get, what I'm saying is it's just going to get worse in the sense that like, you know, look at AI art. I know you saw Lensa. I was able to take your face and make all this different art. What happens
People
when you get 3D models? Dudes are going to be making 3D porn
What happens when the
models
artificial intelligence does it for you?
That's what I'm saying. Like what happens when the 3D porn models, they take a picture of, let's say an Instagram model or something, right? They just took all her pictures off her profile and said, AI, I want you to make a deep fake 3D model of her. They make it and they just turn into some porn thing.
You get
what I'm trying to say?
You sign terms and agreements, terms and conditions when you sign up for these platforms. So you technically are giving them the usage of whatever you post on there. So would it be illegal?
Well, if you look at it that way, I guess it wouldn't be illegal if you're not reading the fine print and they get to use your likeness.
Unless you make the technology.
But
which they're not going to do.
What I just described wasn't with the consent of the other person. If somebody just takes a random Instagram person's pictures off their profile, uploads it to this 3D app, and it just makes a 3D model of this person they can use for whatever
Facebook can do that.
Nefarious purposes. What do you mean?
If it belongs to Facebook.
I understand Facebook and Lensa can do that. I mean, if you upload your pictures to it, that's on you. If you didn't look it up, right? I'm not saying it's right. But I'm talking about, let's say you didn't upload your pictures of this and some random dude does it. Where does the line get crossed? Is what I'm trying to say.
So then the technology period should be banned, but it will not be banned. It will not become illegal.
It will not be banned. There's no
way.
A lot
of implications.
What I'm saying is we're just seeing the beginning of it, and there's going to be no real way to regulate it, I think, ultimately. There's always going to be people out there who are going to, tech's going to keep advancing, and they're going to just, that's the only thing I can think of. It's just going to progress. You know what I mean? Like, I watch so much sci-fi, so I have so many ideas in my head about this kind of very concept. Like, look at Lensa. You can take someone's likeness and make it into like a sex doll or something. I'm thinking like 20, 30 years from now, or you know what I mean? Or you can just put them in movies. You can make movies and take their likeness. And like you said, if they uploaded their self to a platform, I can make this person an extra in my movie. Yep. What can they say? They can't sue me because they agreed to it.
They won't be able to say anything.
There's so many implications. I don't think we're going to be able to stop it.
What else?
Personally.
What other implications are you thinking? Besides what we mentioned.
Well, I'm thinking, the crime element of like framing someone. I'm thinking mainly the sex element. I mean, that's going to be big, It's already big now. Like you said, the streamer just got caught watching deepfake porn of another streamer.
I felt so bad for that guy. Did you watch that video?
What video?
The video of him apologizing. You didn't see this?
I did see it. I remember seeing a video of him apologizing.
The girlfriend crying in the background?
Yeah, I do remember seeing that. How did they catch him, though? Was it just
he had it up on his
screen?
Yeah, he had it up on his screen.
So he was showing it, or he just like flashed it by mistake, and he was like a tab on his computer or something.
A rookie mistake, man. He just had it in another browser. Rookie mistake. It's almost like if you make that type of mistake, you're either new to porn or you wanted people to watch that. You wanted people to see that. You wanted to expose yourself, which I think certain people do self-sabotage like that.
Or maybe they have some kind of fetish.
I'm not familiar with this guy. Like I don't know if he has anything in the past where he's a pervert or whatever. It is kind of weird that you watch something of somebody else that you might even know. It's kind of weird.
I mean, dudes. I mean, like you think like this is just what we have now. You don't think dudes are gonna be like making their little AI girlfriends look like some streamer they have a crush on in like 20, 30 years?
It's kind of weird.
I see it on the horizon. I mean, because it's
like,
already it's the same thing. It's just not as advanced.
Why don't you just watch someone real? Because I saw a lot of people were talking about like, oh, well, if you're going to ban deepfake technology, then that means you have to. What about all the great movies that we're going to be missing out on? Because you know how they're doing all this, where they could do the thing with the facial scan and they can put on a whole nother face, like how we saw in Star Wars, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker. That means you have to get rid of all that type of stuff too, right? It's kind of the same technology.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, but like I said, it can be used for good and used for bad. I just ultimately think you're not going to be able to stop it. We have so much, like there's so many things on the internet that you just cannot stop. It's just going to keep resurfacing. But I guess we could put try to limit it as much as possible. But I think deepfake porn is here to stay. All it takes is a dude to take someone's face, take a different porn video, merge the faces, boom. That's it.
You got to give it up for the people that love porn are going to enjoy this. They're going to be able to make all types of Ice Spice videos.
And in exactly. In the next couple of years, dude. Like in the next, I think the next joke. 10 to 20, it's a joke, but it's true. Like, I understand that, but it's like, it's dead ass, though. That's real shit. Like I'm not, let's just, like, be honest. Like, the shit that's coming on the horizon, like, just look at ChatGPT, but, like, the stuff that's coming on the horizon is going to be insane. It's going to be beyond deepfake porn. Like, I don't even want to restate this, but it's just going to be like imagine just knowing, like, let's say you're like like a Justin Bieber type celebrity or like a Jack Harlow or like, you know what I mean? Like a famous male celebrity. And like, you're your biggest fan. She has a deepfake, like, AI, like, boyfriend that's like you and it talks like you and it has your likeness and personality. Like, that shit is no bullshit. Like, that shit's going to happen. It's going to be like this deepfake shit on fucking steroids.
Yeah. We have some other technology news. There's a report that came out from Apple. I don't know if it was from Apple, but there was we're getting our first look at the Apple VR headset.
Yeah, man. And we can just keep it going, dude. Like, the way they described this new headset is that it's like a 360 dome, and it's like on a grid, and it's like a 360 dome that's separated by a lot of these different grids that curve. And each grid can hold like different content information that will move and spin with it will move with your head moving.
Sounds super high tech, yeah.
It sounds super high tech. People are saying apparently it's gonna be north of 1,000 for sure.
It looks stupid. I thought they were gonna have glasses. I thought the original specs that we saw was that it was gonna be literal specs.
They are making them. They're making two. They're making a mixed reality headset, which is the one that we saw the patent for, and they're making the glasses. The glasses are coming years later.
Because I don't want the headset. The headset looks dumb as fuck. No one's wearing that.
Well, it's mixed reality. You're supposed to use it in your house. So you put it on. It has a camera. So I can have it on right now. Either. I can have it on right now, and I can see at my desk and all my screens and my webcam, my mic. I can see everything. But in my vision, I can have like something like a little AR something dancing on my desk. I can have all my text messages like in my peripheral vision. I can look at them. I can type. You know what I mean? Like it's mixed reality. Is it
worth it though? Is it worth it to be carrying that clunky ass piece of machinery on your face? Are you wearing?
I think it has.
Like, who do you know is gonna? You're wearing that shit? Seriously?
I think that shit would work really well.
Stumbling around your house, tripping over shit.
You won't trip over shit because you can see it. You see everything. It's mixed reality. It has a camera on it, so you see your world. It just adds an overlay to your world, so you can see everything. But it's like you see it through a screen.
What's the difference between that and the Meta?
I don't think Meta is. Well, Meta can do that. Oculus has. It
looks like the exact same. Functions. Yeah, the Oculus.
It's just supposed to be like that on like the next level. It's like on fucking steroids. It's like that, but less clunky, more like less gamery, more like for like a more businessy type person would use it. Where it's like
it just didn't look as good as I thought it was going to look. When you were researching it personally, did you see if that was an actual model? Is that the actual confirmed model?
Well, for the last couple of years, that's what I've seen mock-ups of that design, and that's how it's always looked to me. I've always seen it looking like that. I think the patent information just confirms it. That was rumored. I think the patent information confirms it and also gives a little bit more information about how the technology is actually going to work. So that's like the meat of what we got. But I've always, in my mind, it's always looked like that to me. It's like slim. It's like going to go across your eyes like this, and it's slim, and there's just a band on the back, and it curves around your eyes. Like those, I know you've seen those 90s cyberpunk movies. It kind of reminds me of that. Like these guys have these visors on that connects to their head, and it's not like thick and clunky.
It does look like something somebody would have drew up in 1980, talking about the future. That's what I'm saying. I thought they would make it a little better, a little nicer. I don't know. More tech news, I guess. People found a Chinese drone flying over the Midwest.
Chinese balloon.
Yeah,
flying over the
spy
US.
balloon. They're calling it a spy balloon.
And they finally shot it down. A lot of people are pissed.
Oh, they did? They shot it down? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Where'd they shoot it?
I don't know what they shot it with, but I know they shot it down.
Like where?
Like where?
In the U.S. Where?
I have no idea. This is and let me just stop for a second. This is a topic I have not researched as deeply as I needed to. So maybe we might need to take a second and then try it again. What do you think?
All right, we could just skip over it. I was just going to talk about it.
Let's skip over it. Yeah. Let's skip over it for now. We can talk about it next
time. We have Ron DeSantis. You want to talk about Ron DeSantis?
Ron DeSantis, man. Ron DeSatan. I mean, in the last week, I've been paying attention to what's going on in Florida. But in the last week, it seems like these guys are I don't know, man. It seems like living out a Handmaid's Tale fantasy. Sounds like a slippery slope.
What's going on in Florida? What's going on in Florida right now at the hands of Governor DeSantis is pretty dystopian. He's doing a lot of different types of legislation, a lot of types of complaints and arguments, and a lot of rhetoric that's just more, I don't know why, but it seems like the Republican Party is going more and more towards this autocracy, like this tyranny type of shit. A little fascist, don't you think?
Yeah,
I don't think that it's anything crazy to say.
Can you explain to me this guy talking about proposing schoolgirls giving their menstrual cycles to the government? What the fuck?
They only do that types of stuff with women too.
That's weird. That's we know that's beyond weird. What I'm trying to say is what the fuck is going on in Florida? I guess you could say it's Florida, we expect this, but what? What are your thoughts on that?
On the menstrual cycles?
And yeah,
I just don't think that they would do anything. I know they wouldn't do anything like that about men. It's the same thing with the Supreme Court knocking down abortion rights and stuff like that. They only do this type of stuff with women, and then they only do this types of stuff furthermore with minorities.
But why though? I understand this is all abortion related, but
that's the reason why. It's because they're women and they're minorities.
Seems like some sick pedo fascist weirdo's fantasy. I don't. That's just bizarre to me. And if people are actually gonna stand for this, they're gonna continue supporting this man, and he's doing this to your daughters. That's bizarre.
Yeah, does he have children?
Bizarre. I'm sure he does. I don't know, but I'm sure he does have children. He seems like he definitely probably has a couple children.
That's one of the things that I always wonder, when I hear about all these types of politicians that are making just the most evil, just the most asinine, ludicrous legislation in the world. It's don't you have children?
Another thing that he was getting into was that there was a bar. Well, they had I would say a place that had a liquor license. So of course, it's some kind of bar. They hosted a drag show, and now he's trying to take their liquor license for it. You're indoctrinating children, and blah blah blah. It's why would children be anywhere where there's a liquor license in the establishment like that? That doesn't even.
Yeah, there is that narrative, huh?
That doesn't even sound right to me.
One of those sexualization narratives.
Yeah, it just seems like
sexualizing
blatant
the children.
Attacking. It just seems like blatant attacking of people. It just seems like these guys want to take this. They want to take it started in Florida as a testing ground and take this nationally.
The "Don't Say Gay" bill, kind of along
the
the same lines.
Don't Say Gay bill. It's just dude, what are your actual policies that are not just attacking people?
Well, they're going for that niche. We already know. They're going for that small
Just
little niche
persecuting
right there. Yeah. The ones who are like the neo-Nazis these days. They like those guys, don't they?
I mean, he's straight up a Klansman. Like, this point, this dude is like a straight up like weirdo. Like, we've known this for a while, but he's pushing it as hard as he can push it. What do you
It
think?
is something to look out for, you know.
You think he could get to the White House?
I think he does have plans on running, yeah. At least that's the rumors. I don't see
You
why
personally,
not.
you think Americans are going to just ignore this and be like, yeah, he's attacking undesirables, of course.
Do I think he's going to run? Not sure. Do I think he's going to be voted for? Probably. Like I said, he's preaching to a base. There is a base for him. There is a base for these. There's a lot of Republicans that are taking this Donald Trump thing and running with that shit. I'm not a big politics guy at all, but I do hear the stories. And the overall narrative coming from the Republican Party is that these guys, they like that little fascist. I mean, it's weird because at the same time that, you know, Republicans are supposed to stand for like, we want small government, we don't want government, you know, influencing anything that's going on in our private day-to-day lives, they're overreaching constantly. But it's for these minority groups.
But for those other groups, those minority groups, overreach, bend them over, do what you got to do, but don't do it to us though. That's really what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with us, but.
And I could see people voting for him. I don't know if he would necessarily win. I don't want to get into all that. You know, I don't even know who's running. Period. It's too early to tell. But it is kind of it's just something to look out for. You know, it's just something to be aware of. We should all be looking to Florida because a lot of times in the way that these politics games work, they look for somebody that's going to be the leader, the ones that's going to lead them into this new era of election cycle, this, and the third. And Ron DeSantis could be that guy. You know, I've even heard people like Joe Rogan talking about Ron DeSantis. So you get certain people that have a voice, you know, kind of bigging up the name. Ron DeSantis is a name that could be in the hat. I don't know if he was supporting him. I think he did say that he would make a good president. He said something along those lines. People could fact check me, but I'm pretty sure they were talking about Ron DeSantis, and he did mention that name along a couple of other names that could be possible presidential candidates. And we already know, like certain, like even like the moderates. We were looking up the research just earlier. A lot of the moderates could be like, "Oh yeah, like he doesn't stand for abortion. I'll vote for him," or, you know, I just don't want big government.
They'll come down to one issue. They swing each way, and they'll ignore all the bullshit that he does as long as he's anti-abortion or he's anti-this or anti-whatever they want. That's enough for them to swing that way, and they'll ignore all the other evil shit that he does.
Seems like it happened with Trump, so I can see him. He's walking in his shoes a little bit, so I can see it. All right, y'all. We will catch you next week, same place, same time. Episode 43? 42. Episode 42 in the books. 42. These 40s are going by kind of slow. But we'll catch you guys.